Hello, everybody, and welcome to Open EXO Live. It is really great to be with you this evening. I, of course, missed last week, and I hope you enjoyed the Open EXO Live that was run by Kent Langley together with Cherie. And this week we have Mario with us. And beforehand, I forgot to ask Mario how to say his surname. And so I'm not going to say it because I'm going to make a big mistake, I'm sure. And as you can see there's some awesome people coming up in the next few weeks. And before we get Mario up on stage, I do have a few messages from some community members, starting with this one, which comes from Yaroslav. And he just said, Mario took part in our suite of training and certification programs. He was passionate, committed, and brought a lot of positive energy to the group. I wish him all the best in his many activities. Then we have from Lucy, I really enjoyed getting to know Mario through our coaching certification program in 2020. I was impressed by Mario's desire to learn about EXO, so much so that he enrolled in the English cohort when his home language and language of business is Italian. Where language seemed to be a barrier, the MTPs of the initiative we were working on really connected us. Mario, my friend, I hope you are doing well and applying and sharing all we learned. And then we have from Stefano, Mario is an enthusiastic member of the Italian Open EXO community. He recently joined our core team and seems to be a concrete man who walks the talk, willing to have a positive impact. If you look at his profile, you'll see he strongly believes in continuous learning, as it allows him to overcome the challenges of the fluid context in which we are all immersed. And so with that, I want to welcome up Mario. How are you doing this evening, Mario?
Yes, in Italy is the evening, but now I am very happy to stay in this live with you, Kevin. Very, very happy for this sharing.
Awesome. So it's really great to have you. And the first question I always ask people that I am interviewing on Open EXO Live is if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, about your history, and also how you came to join the Open EXO community.
Oh, thank you very much. I am Mario Arcidiacono. I live and work in Rome, Italy. And for the first of all, I want to thank in particular the founder of OpenEXO, Salim Ismail, and all the training and back office staff, including Anastasia, Jaroslav, Pedro, Lisa, Kent, Dia, and all the member internal and external contributors every day to the growth and development of our global community. And last but not the least, our Kiev community officer, Kevin Allen. Thanks.
Thanks, Mario.
And as an architect, I am in charge of the general management of a private real estate development group, and I deal with the sector consultancy in the strategic field. I have always developed a strong focus on and passion for exponential technologies, following the Singularity University since its foundation in the 2008, understanding the value of its mission, which is to educate, inspire, and help leaders to apply exponential technology to address great challenges of humanity. Since 2011, I have started following Salim Ismail, already from the Singularity University, and these very in-depth studies on private unicorns from the increasingly crowed in Unicorns Club. In 2015, I started my EMBA, and after passing the EMBA, at the Business Administration Department of the University of Rome Tor Vergata, in 2018, together with some colleagues, we founded the EMBA Alumni Association, of which I am former vice president and member of the board of direction. Also in 2018, I founded an innovative engineering and architectural company that deals with the management, strategic consultancy, and digital transformation and PropTech, property plus technology, and Contech, construction plus technology, which is called Archigeo 3, and is one of the first Italian benefit corporations. So, as innovation manager, I developed a creative and proactive mindset with a mission of helping company in the exponential acceleration of technologies, guiding their change and increasing their competitiveness, generating a positive impact on the reference ecosystem. The mission was born thanks to reading and rereading, already having devoured over and over again the book by Salim Ismail, released in 2015 in Italy, the Exponential Organizations. And in the Jan 2019, I attended the fourth executive course in Rome of the Singularity University Italy, bringing as a study with a great interest the Exponential Organization, of which I have the deep need, the study done by Salim Ismail of hundreds of these unicorn organizations over the year of their evolution, understanding the first how Salim Ismail managed the understand and code the framework, and second how he managed to better understand what he really made them among the Silicon Valley startups the most effective and scalable. Hence, the need in 2020, during the famous COVID-19 pandemic year, to become a part of the OpenEXO global community, where I was sure to find a qualified member such as change maker, thought leader, innovation specialist, global citizen, and very nice people who have come together to transform the world for a better future, individually and as a part of this global community, where we all work together with the organization of people and governments to help them deliver exponential impact and performance. And 2022 has been a very important year for me with the OpenEXO, Kevin. After the first foundation basic course in March 2020, which I concluded in May 2020, immediately moving on the consultant course in Jan 2020, which I concluded in November 2020, having already started the sprint course coach, who also concluded this in November 2020, reacting my goal with enthusiasm, with real enthusiasm. I also decided to become an ambassador for Italy. In this moment, I also decided to become ambassador for Italy, in particular for Central Italy, in February 2021. The most important event, however, was the EXO World Summit. EXO World Summit is the biggest event which was the first entirely online world event held between in 14 and 16 April 2020, in which we were very lucky enough to form the first Italian Open EXO group, which immediately had his LinkedIn page, and today together with Luca Leonardini, Matteo Pacini, Stefano Benatti, and others, founded the Italian official chapter, the branch of the Open EXO, of which I am part of the core team, and which is called EXO Italia.
Awesome. And so yeah, it's really great to have you. So great how you started the certifications and then you just did them all. And we don't actually have such a large community in Rome. We have a large community in Milano.
Yes,
and
yeah.
So very good to have someone also in Roma. So really great. And can you tell us a little bit about when doing that, building your massive transformative purpose, your MTP?
The first important work of deep research obviously was done on me to bring out the maximum of my essence. And as Peter Diamandis says and teaches, as something to live and died for it at the same time. This is the massive transformative purpose. And the first version of my massive transformative purpose was less streamlined, but was always based on my principles and values, such as essentially being a positive and energetic person with a leadership model based on setting a good example first, to bring out the best in the undersigned and by the others, having always worked in teams and always in a multidisciplinary teams. So the first version of my MTP was to be the energetic channel for the development of human creative thinking, capable of visualizing and imagining, which I still love very much today. But sequentially, in the continuous improvement, Kevin, I have outlined a new and even more stringent, effective, and efficient form, which is the following, and which today I share with all of you, and is Behin, an instrument for development of human thought.
Okay, that's really awesome. Made it a bit more concentrated, I guess. And you also spoke about the fact that you've started Archigeo 3, really looking at the world of construction tech, property tech. What is the MTP for that organization? Is it linked to your personal MTP?
Oh yes, similarly, as soon as the innovative engineering company was founded, the greatest effort to share before the vision and mission with the teams was to identify its first massive transformative purpose, which summarized the philosophy of the brand and identify the work of excellence. So also look to the future and endowing itself with strong innovative skills represented by attributes of an exponential organization. Identify the disruptive character in the form of architecture in the broadest sense, from corporate structure to their work space and their use, and so on. And we respecting natural resource, improve the quality of human life, and the sense of this for the first version of the MTP in Archigeo 3 is engineering and architecture solutions for human life.
Okay, awesome. That's really great. And so you also mentioned, that you took on the role of an EXO ambassador. Also quite early on, I can remember when I first met you, around about, after the summit, and seeing you going through the certifications. How would you say your role as an ambassador in Italy is going, and what is sort of the response of the ecosystem there?
Oh yeah, since I become ambassador for Italy, in particular for Central Italy in February 2021, I began to feel more the desire to concrete the impact and the change for my country. This is a challenge that I enjoy. Strongly believe in motion thinking, so that motion thinking that unlocks the potential to impact over 1 billion people, thanks to the new tools and the new skills that will allow us to translate knowledge into action using exponential technology to solve major global challenges. I'm convinced that in Italy, many opportunities can be opened up to create a blue ocean. Italy is my country. Italy has a deep creative nature that I love. Italy is a country that in recent years has been working well on emergencies, but less well in planning, development, and research. But today we are called to face a great evolutionary challenge. They requires a major shift in cultural mentality. This change is identified in the business framework, in the nature of company, and in digital evolution and exponential technologies. These challenges must start with private individuals to reach large public companies, governments, and university. This is my application framework, which also lead to me to think about becoming an Open EXO trainer, but for the moment is only an idea. In my ecosystem, I adapt for different players, of which you meet EFM. At the beginning, there was a lot of resistance. Today, thanks to the rule of the innovation manager and digital transformation, we begin to understand the importance of this model and this concept. Asking many times for demos, which introductory webinars. The last one in November 2021 that you open, Kevin, with your greeting is the best webinar, and have a lot of such as for my rule of ambassador. We still have a long way to go uphill. A long way to go up. A very long way.
So on that journey, journey, how would you say that you and as well as your are spreading that culture of exponential organizations in Italy?
Small and medium size Italy companies are very complicated and structured differently from American companies, both in terms of equity and business model. In most cases, I always tell our customers one very important thing. Establishing a company does not mean having done a startup, because the fundamental principle of scalability is at the center of everything. The scale up can only be obtained with the EXO model, both in terms of product and service, building value in the brand and in the value chain. Today, it is important to work alongside the large company of the Italian scenario and bring this disruptive innovation to their knowledge by working with direct experimentation to insert the EXO model and its fundamental attributes but to grasp the transition from linear business model canvas to exponential EXO canvas, and to do better grasps the potential of exponential technology and create new opportunity, which in our field concern real estate management and world of construction and architecture, also creating shared service platform.
Okay, and so how would you say that you're actually going about that? What sort of channels are you looking to use, or are there any institutions that you're like really looking at?
The channel throughout which all these will have to be accomplished in the first place will be the business schools, also thanks to the contribution of the consulting firms. Specifically through the direct involvement in the entrepreneurship module of the MBA and EMBA, involving the companies and of the board and bringing the fruition development projects with the final works in both the core and edge areas. Even took the ecosystems government intervention that pushes in this direction must be facilitated through the specific laws, including in terms of debt and or equity financing, with tax relief and more. This is the task that I am carrying out directly as a coach and ambassadors, and with the Archigeo engineering company, Archigeo 3 engineering company in the reference ecosystem through the involvement of the university, specifically our alumni MBA Tor Vergata, and with support project for development of Sprint, with participation of the master within companies and moment such as EFM and InfoCert, hoping for the final presentation of a best practice in which also the public administration will be involved, creating a positive impact also of an institutional nature.
Okay, and so how useful has the EXO model and the sprint methodology as well, been in your business of Archigeo 3? How useful have you found these concepts?
It's most important is the concept of EXO model and is a practical application through the sprint in both the core and the edge areas. In a period of great uncertainties and changes, which have brought all the project management logic into agile concept, is a tool for large corporation essential for internal analysis and the research of new scenarios to create value spin-off from which to implement business models in terms of service, product, and reference ecosystem. In particular, it has been useful in three aspects for me. Only this, in January 2021, the 5 digital companies, Amazon, Apple, Google, and Facebook, and Microsoft, accounted for the 17% of the total S&P 500. After 1 year, they share reacted around 24%. A dramatic and unthinkable expansions in the past. However, you consider them. However, what is clear is that in recent years, they have created a business model with specific characteristics that have generated profound implication for every other company on the market. The process of change already very rapid and incisive before the health emergence have become even more marked, in some cases exponential, in other even explosive. Either explosive. And so the fourth is optimism, inclusiveness, and kindness. Those who now know how to combine humility, collaboration, and culture, and are not afraid to admit their fears. An enthusiastic person able to rediscover the sense of purpose. After the crisis triggered by the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic, the figure of business executive must also change. What kind of energy is needed in the company today? Most of the people who work in the company feel the need to reassurance, about 63%, and action plan that involves them 44%, but also to feel safe 40%. The feeling is that right now we are regaining confidence in the idea that the power has knowledge in itself and is no longer something to defend against. There is a power model that has to do with adaptation, and the one that requires a sense of possibility. Today, the sense of adaptation prevails, but in the next phase, which will open shortly, people would like to see the sense of possibility prevail with the company, not a power that intervenes to bring things back as before, but capable of learning from what happened and go further. The ideal manager should make sharing and listening is strange. The second is anti-fragility. Anti-fragility is the way of innovation. In a time of crisis when it would be natural to expect people to demand caution, a leader is sought who can take risk and move it forward. An anti-fragile leader is the new necessity for me. Anti-fragility is the way of innovation. The concept of anti-fragility, coined by the Lebanese mathematician and philosopher Nassim Taleb, was created to find the right counterpart to the idea of fragility. I think that its opposite, in fact, is neither robustness or resilience. Two attitudes that I lead both to reach to as such will remaining equal to themselves. Those who are anti-fragile, on the other hand, in the face of violence, stress, are able to improve themselves, acquiring skills that they did not have before. This is way for the relationship with the anti-fragility, and the innovation is interesting. In the face of an external event, people tend to overreact, that is, to implement a reaction that exceeds the actual need of an event. The collaboration did not take place only between individuals with the organization, but in many cases all involved customer and supplier. Typical feature of any company that wants to be innovative. The culture of innovation pushes us to manage the company in a non-hierarchical way, to take care of the value of the other, to tolerate mistakes, and even encourage them. Third, learn to tell and keep learning. This is fundamental. Many companies continue to tell each other the same story and to live from the epic of the founder, but the world has changed and the story needed to be updated. It must be told by Sorry, the way the people who experience the company every day. The time has come to assume the imperative of all begin a community of destiny. Not only for a responsibility choice, but for a needed for survival with the organization. And today, learning new things allow you to train your ability to experiment, keep track on them, and share what you have learned with your collaborators. This is important for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Mario, we have come pretty much to the end of our time and today. And I always love to end though by asking, the question, which is, what is it that you want to, finally share with those people who are either watching live, watching the recording? What is it that you want to share as we close off Open EXO Live today?
Yeah, in closing, for this who stayed and survived this live, I would like to share the fact that I firmly believe that the future of organizations and the new structure is that of exponential organizations, because new organizations are 10 times better, faster, and cheaper than the current ones. For this reason, I see business as a positive force, which must lead every large company to compete to do the best for the world and not the best in the world. I think EXO is the new era of new era to change the structure of organization. With this, I want to awaken and push people in my country to act with the EXO framework, to join the Open EXO global community as soon as possible, to grow my business, grow the EXO movement in Italy, and help my clients in Italy and around the world to have an exponential impact. So if you two are now ready to become an active member of this exponential Open EXO community, give your contribution also in EXO Italy in Rome. Connect me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Open EXO community. Thank you, Kevin, very much. Thank you.
Awesome, Mario. Grazie. Grazie tutti. I don't know, is that the right thing to say? I only know that from being a Ferrari fan. And so thank you so much for joining us this evening. Looking forward to seeing what happens in Italy. I know there's a strong community there. So thank you very much, and ciao.
Ciao. Ciao. Bye.
Really, really great chatting with Mario and the community in Italy. So excited to see what is happening there and what's happening with many communities around the world. And so we'll end off today with a video about the Open EXO community. If you want to join, you can head over to openexo.com/community, and we'll see you all next week.